Does your player know if there is a cure?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's fun though. That's a fun element. It's like, I feel like sometimes when you use like straight out of the book things, players have read all of the fucking books.
Right.
So they know everything there, and they're like, yeah, I'm not metagaming. I'm not going to game. Guys, this is fun. This is fun.
We got to find some thistle, 2 fireflies, and a cattle prod in the shape of an L. You're like, what?
What?
Just trust me. Diseases. Underutilized. In D&D.
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that's pretty fair.
I mean,
mainly,
guess some groups could. And if you do in your groups at home, let us know if you've used them to varying degrees of success. But I just find that they're very, very hard to keep track of. It's mainly the reasons I usually stay away from them.
Any effect that lingers in the game, you're going to forget about at some point, right? Like as a DM, you've got so much going on, you're totally going to forget. And if the player isn't being like, oh no, wait, I've got strep throat or whatever, the medieval strep throat is,
death.
Yeah. I've got the what do they used to call them? Like the bad airs or, you know what I mean? Like malaria is like bad air or whatever. It's like, but they had a name for it. Fuck, whatever. Like bad humors or something like that. Who knows? Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Like, unless your player is the kind of person who's like, nope, I've got, like 2 arms, no legs, half a nose, and malaria. And like, that's what they're leaning into at all times. It's like, they're going to forget, you're going to forget. And also
the vapors.
The vapors. Yeah. Thank you.
Jason with the save. Always.
Bringing the vapors in for us. Plus, if you give your players something that lasts, that's not a bonus, they will hate you for so long. They will just continue to hate and hate and hate until it's gone. And even then, there will always be that residual hate because they'll be waiting for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's a deniable thing. I mean,
yes. And I think you nailed it. I think one of the things about diseases that's hard is that it's just a lot for the DM to keep track of on top of literally an entire world or universe. So I think like, one, talk to your players, make sure it's something they want to do and they're okay with. But also if they are, like, you gotta be, it's on the players, I think, to remember and uphold that stuff a little bit. Just like to help the DM out, right? To set a tone, to set a world. I mean, disease is such a huge part of...
Okay. Where do you draw the line on, like, make sure your players are okay with it? Because I'm pretty sure if you ask, like, 100 players, like 80% of them would be like, and that might be an exaggeration, would be like, yeah, everything's cool as long as I just never die. You know what I mean? Like, like they like, so many players are just like, oh, that's not fun. Like, anything that takes away from them in any like tiniest little sliver of power that like they lose is sometimes like almost like a riotous situation. Like, they will fucking flip the table. I mean, like, because it's not like you haven't taken it from just their character. You've taken it from them. It's like you, and it's not like the world or the NP. No, it's you, fucking DM. Like, and I don't know. It's just like, I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think diseases can be fun, and we'll get into supernatural diseases a little later. But just plain diseases. I have some sample diseases that they give you. In the book, like cackling fever, sewer plague, or sight rot, all of which can be saved, or some of them even say that, like, if you don't save 3 times, that's like a semi-permanent part of your life now, is this cough or this slight jeer of your mouth to like cackle and laugh, like unconsciously sometimes.
See, here's the thing though, is like, that's where I'm like, I would tell my players, like, look, you don't have to adopt that. Like, anything that, like, now becomes, like, a tick that can fucking maybe be annoying to play and annoying to fucking listen to, like, that feels like a design problem in terms of, like, don't design things like that. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound fun to me. But if it's, like, you know, you're deathly afraid of frogs now, it's like that gives them an opportunity to have fun with a thing, or you're just disfigured or whatever, or you have like pockmarks that aren't like gross, but now maybe people in the world recognize that you've had the thing, which might be good or might be bad. Like sailors back in the day would have to show that they've had certain, like, you know, poxes and stuff like that. Like they'd strip naked before they could be let on the ship, and it'd be like, show us all your diseases, boys. You're not coming on unless you've had all that shit already. So like that can be a fun thing where it's like now they're allowed in a spot, or maybe there is like a leper camp or something that they have to go into, and that's kind of like a bit of a solo thing that they get to then, because they've had this bad thing happen, like a fun thing gets to happen, right? Where now it's like they're part of a different chosen community. I don't know. That feels more fun to me than being like making someone be like, yeah, I talked to the barmaid.
Yeah, I've had great fun with like minor things, such as like instead of a disease, you guys had fought this plant that basically tried to dissolve of one of our players, Cornelia, and instead of being like a long-lasting disease, I was just like, oh, the mucus is like Nair. All of your hair
that
is
was
just
great.
gone.
That was fantastic.
Because
one, it's insulting. It's just fucking like insulting to like your character to be like, I have just no hair. I am like just smooth as an eel. Is just sort of like, if you had any self-confidence in your character, it's gone. It's just gone. It's gone. Which was great. But then it ends, right? There's like a logical end, unless like then you go like, yeah, and then it just falls out again. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. No,
right,
but I thought that one was brilliant, because it felt like, because we did not do well in that encounter. Like, it was a great encounter in that everyone worked together really well, but we didn't roll well. And like, what, 3 of us ended up inside the thing before it was over, and like our skin was getting melted and like ripped off.
Something that has consequences,
right?
It's not just like, you know, like, and
well, that you can't sleep off.
HP, yeah, is a maybe not as good of a consequence in a long
it's a terrible consequence. If you can sleep it away, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? If you can just like, if it's a hangover, it's not that terrible. Right? And most things that are like HP based is like, you lose all this HP, especially because like the pacing of today's games, it's been my experience. There's so many opportunities to be like, we'll just sleep it off. We'll just sleep tonight. It's tough as a DM to make the encounters come 3 at a time in a day, 4 at a time in a day. What were you saying? You told me once, like, the book is like, there's supposed to be 6 encounters per long rest. It's like, that doesn't happen.
But I think the encounters, their mindset.
I know they mean like small
fight
things, like
2 goblins here and you fight something here.
But even still.
Tangent writes, as far as diseases go, I had 2/3 of the group succumb to the curse of a wretch ghost. So all of them were cursed to be addicted to opium, which is fun.
Oh, wow.
But the characters didn't realize it. They just started suffering withdrawal symptoms until finally the characters put things together. And then just like bought some opium. Yeah. That's really good. That's actually really fun. Yeah. I love that. Like, you just start feeling a little itchy, and you're just a little sweaty, and you're just uncomfortable, a little irritated. That's funny. That's pretty good.
Modern problems require modern solutions. Buy opium.
Yeah. But I think that's another way, though, that like I think the players have to buy into that, right? Like, yes, because your players obviously don't feel withdrawal symptoms. Well, I hope they don't. So they're not feeling withdrawal symptoms. So that's, you know, like that's it's tough. It's tough, I think, because you in anything like this, a curse or something that you're asking the players to keep track of, something that's negative, unless you're taking, like, I think if it's happening to the whole group, it can be fun because it's like a shared experience. But
yes, that's different. When it's one, maybe two people, especially if it's just one person, it can feel very like, oh, well, now I just suck and the rest of the group is awesome.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, now we have to go and save me. And then the person feels like, well, I'm slowing down the entire campaign, right? Like as a player, right? Mm-hmm. If we have, and the side things that distract you from the main goal are supposed to be fun and entertaining. But if it's just for one person and even they are sort of like, sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got the Crimson Madness. Yeah. You know, it's like it doesn't feel good.
As long as you set up the players' expectations, like such as, hey, you're going into this cursed tomb. There's a lot of like really old evil curses and disease and rot all over the place. Expect that. And you give them a chance to like, hey, bring remedies, bring anti this.
Don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water. You're going to need this stuff. I think it's a lot more forgivable as a DM to start throwing out stuff like diseases and such.
I think that's fair. I think diseases are great. I just think they don't go over well, I guess is the point I was trying to make. But if everyone's on board, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And let's talk a little bit about how you run a disease. I've thought up a million different ways to run diseases with like the DC changing every single time and you failing and succeeding and how it goes back and forth. But honestly, there's a spell called Contagion, which is a 5th level cleric spell, and I think it's the best of all worlds. You get hit by this thing, Contagion. It has 5 or 6. It has 6 different diseases attached to it, and it's like 3 successes, and it's off. 3 failures, and it's now something that you have to deal with. I don't know how long it lasts. 7 days, which is pretty incredible, right? Like, so
sure.
I think like as a template, I kind of like the just 3 fails, 3 saves thing.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
It's easy, I think, to remember, and a lot of these things are easy because it's like, and I think, you know, giving people fun things like, oh, you know, every time you say a word that starts with S, you have to like tap your head 3 times or something. Those are fun, but giving them like mechanical things.
I think that's a drinking game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a disease.
Like flesh rot. The creature's flesh decays. The creature has disadvantage on charisma checks and is vulnerable to all damage. Now you're like, here's where you're at. This is exactly how this works. There's no gray area of like, oh, but you know, does this count as damage or am I taking, you know, something?
Yeah. Okay. Reed, down on the cup. New player perspective. If James gave you a horrible disease, what would you like being relatively new to D&D? Like, how would that affect you? Like, oh God, he's got the claw. He's so bad. Never mind. Squash the cup. No. What's your take on this?
I mean, just as a player, I mean, I don't want to spoil last week's session, but unless I'm
it's already happened. It's already happened. You can't. But we played it.
Hey, so from my perspective, I can share a player perspective. Steve gets what I assume is like the beginning stages of Crimson Madness after he gets attacked by this water beast.
Oh, now you're fucked up.
And now, yeah, exactly. But it's like, okay, how do you want to play this, and how is it going to manifest over time? So instead of like panicking, being like, okay, this is how I'm gonna die. This is what's gonna kill me. Like, no. Like that's no way to play. If anything, it's just, if it's that bad, it just put you on a time clock. That's all. So
are you saying you basically just received like D&D cancer? Is that
Well,
what you're?
It's Crimson Clap. That's what Gethrod's calling.
I don't like it.
That's kind of how I see it, where it's like, okay, the stakes have just gotten a little bit higher. So time that you would have, the time that you would have taken to get something done might need to take a little bit faster now. You might need to go.
To give some context, do we know? Does your player know if there is a cure? Is that a known thing or not?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, yeah. So that's fun though. That's a fun element. Because like I feel like sometimes when you use like straight out of the book things, players have read all of the fucking books.
Right.
So they know everything and they're like, yeah, I'm not metagaming. I'm not gonna game. Guys, this is fun. This is fun.
We gotta find some thistle, 2 fireflies, and a cattle prod in the shape of an L. You're like, what?
What?
Just trust me. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that would just kind of ruin the fun of having a disease in game, because it's like, oh, that's meant to kind of shake up the players. It's not like you got stabbed or something. It's a new way of experiencing player challenges over time. So
I think that's probably a good attitude for sure.
Yeah, and when you have something like the Crimson Madness, after witnessing the dude literally blowing up as a result of it, as far as you're concerned, you are going to die. You just don't know when. It could be tomorrow.
Could you imagine, like in the real world, like if was like a thing that was going around and people were just like,
I've seen enough episodes of Boys to just
exactly.
Like,
oh man.
New season's out. Everyone watch it. It's awesome.
I've only seen the first episode of the new season, and I was like, "You did not let me down. You did not let me down." They're insane. I don't know how they get to make that show. I don't know. Like there's always, I've worked in TV for a long time. There's always someone in the back of the room that goes, "No, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. Why would you think you can do that?"
You look at all the shows on Amazon that they produce, and you'd be like, what are shows that people are watching? And they're like, well, they can do whatever they want because they're at the top of this list.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it.
You don't have to be the best show. You just have to be the best show on that network.
I guess that, yeah. I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you.
I mean, honestly, that's such a good metaphor for diseases when you think about it. I mean, that's probably the approach I'm going to take as a player, where it's like, I don't need to
There's
worry
a bear
about
inside
the
you.
disease. The bear is the disease. I just need to worry about the time that I have left that I need to accomplish the things I need to accomplish.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, Alec, thanks for joining us. Tangent brings up a good point. I was going to move over to supernatural diseases.
Tangent's point is awesome. Like, if Crimson Madness has something to do with this, oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Pathfinder had an interesting take. Magical diseases like vampirism, lycanthropy, ghoulism, or turning into a deep one takes time, but also gives benefits. And the more you use them, the faster you succumb to the curse or disease.
That's a cool thing. That's a really
that's fun. That's fun. Because you feel like you have a bit of
fun,
a hand in it, right?
Exactly.
I like that.
It still puts the player in control a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Because anytime
no one feels, it doesn't feel fun being out of control of your own character. Like that just feels awful.
And I think that's where the tics come in that are like, that could be really obnoxious. It's right. Like, in your head every time you say a word that starts with S would just like, I'm over.
It would be awful. And even if they were going to be a good sport,
quit doing this.
Like 30 minutes in, they're like, you know what? I quit.
Yeah. Oh no. I attacked myself. Critical hit. New character.
New character. Oh, shucks. Oh, look, I've got one right here. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Character, go.
I think things like lycanthropy, lycanthropy.
Lichen?
I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. Lichen. Yeah.
Lycanthropy? That's what I've heard too. I don't know.
Yeah. Just get the lie in there.
Lycanthropy sounds...
Lycanthropy? That's...
Lycanthropy?
What is the correct way? I don't know.
It's finger licking good. Therapy.
God. Good God.
Good God. He's got off the rails. I think those to me they're way more fun, right? Like, I think there's just way more room, right? Like if you're like, hey, you have tetanus, people can be like, oh no, I know how this ends. But if you're like, you were bitten by this turtle creature, and you start growing a shell, people are like, oh, okay.
Oh God! Like on the one hand.
Yeah.
Very cool. On the other hand, like I almost mentally vomited when you said that. Like,
well, it's like I was a back sleeper, but I guess not anymore.
Side effects may include has an attraction to one specific primary color. You become raised by rats, and you learn ninjutsu.
Singular rat. Singular. You have to find the rat.
Find the rat. Then be raised by the rat, and then trained in the way.
Yeah. And your apparently your metabolism is out of control too.
Yeah, for only one specific type of food.
You just eat pizza every day.
Just carbs.
For everything.
Man, turtles are crazy. I was riding my motorcycle last weekend and came across this huge fucking snapping turtle just sitting in the middle of the road, like just warming himself, not going anywhere. And I was like, buddy, you can't stay there. So, thankfully I'm wearing gloves and I'm like, I'll just go pick him up. I'll just go pick him up and take him out of the street. Done this before. And then I get up to him. And I mean, he's a chonker. He's probably this big front to back and that big side to side. So I'm holding him like this. And I get my hands on a shell. And before I'm even touching him, he does that thing where they scrunch their neck in and just open their mouth, and it's just a spring trap. It's just waiting for any bit of flesh to get anywhere near it. And I'm like, okay, just coming from behind, just grab him. I pick him up and his claws, dude, the claws are ripping into my leather gloves. Thankfully, not hard because I'm wearing leather gloves, but I was like, oh, if I were barehanded right now, this would not be working because I would have already dropped him. He would have spun and then grabbed my Achilles and then dragged me into the pond and I would have been dead. I saw it all happen just right in my eyes, right as though I felt those things come across my fingers. So I pick him up and I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And I put him down and they're just tanks. They're just murder machines. We think of turtles, when you think of animated turtles, name me an animated turtle that isn't the chillest dude and just fucking totally relaxed. No, they're fucking murder machines.
Yeah, Tonka and Razor. Which one was that? Tonka, I think, was the evil turtle.
Are you talking about fucking Turtles in Time? When they got rid of Bebop and Rocksteady?
Yeah,
terrible.
Or was that Secret of the Ooze? Was that Secret of the Ooze?
No, I think it might have been Turtles. It doesn't really matter. They were garbage.
I think it is
Bebop
Secret of the Ooze.
And Rocksteady for life.
Because they went to Japan for the third one.
They did. They became samurai.
That was Turtles in Time, wasn't it?
That's the third one, though. He's talking about...
That is the third one?
Secret of the Ooze, which is number 2.
Yeah. And then...
Yeah, because they get changed by the ooze.
Yeah, by the end, Shredder mutates himself.
It was like a little wolf.
Yes, but fucking Super Shredder. Oh my God.
I don't know why.
So off topic. No, it's great. This is why you're in the cup. We need that. Put the shades back on. Anyway, all I'm saying is, motherfucker was a house, and turtles need more respect because, yikes.
Put some respect.
So yeah, if you started, put some respect on it. If you started turning into a turtle, holy fuck, that would kind of be awesome. It'd be disgusting. Be disgusting, but at the same time, that'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, right.
All right. No turtle disease. One turtle disease coming up for Dresden.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go to our next segment, which we like to call "What's Brewing in the Cup."
We're gonna check in.
Well, here we go. We're
gonna check in with our main man.
We're gonna give Rita. Good.
Just see what's on his mind. See what's going on with him.
We're gonna go into the cup.
Here we go. Let's get down in there. The chair is sticking out of the cup.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, I love it. Okay, wait. Yeah, we're in the cup. Okay.
What's the deal with diner mints? Ooh. That is my big question.
Okay.
Why are they better?
I'm with you.
All other mints. Right?
Are they just old?
Yeah.
Have they just been
Mints
sitting
aged like
so
wine?
long?
Are mints and wine the same thing, right?
Yeah, they've just been blasted with UV rays through that front piece of glass for fucking decades.
They've heard "What's New Pussycat" on the jukebox a billion times.
Yeah.
Soaked in the sound waves and just baked these mints.
Yeah.
And the plastic is just seeped into it. The mints will give you
maybe
cancer.
that's what it is.
It's really good.
Maybe they've been in the plastic for so long. I'm with you. See, this is why we need to see what's brewing in the cup, because these are the questions that matter.
All right. We're going to pop back out. Thank you, Rain, for that insight.
My moment.
I love that we can actually zoom in on him. Like that is the most awesome effect.
That was all improvised, by the way. I'd like to.
I love it. You know, but you see, that's the thing. You put a man on the spot, you really get down to what matters in his soul.
Yeah.
You know?
Alec agrees. When mints age, I believe they get more hard and more minty.
Just like
science.
But sometimes they get like chalky almost. It's like the final. Have you ever popped one in your mouth and it's like a fucking dust bowl? It's just like whoosh.
I don't think so. I don't think
Oh, dude.
that.
Dude,
I've had a diner mint that I literally went crunch and it was just like I could have breathed it out.
It's like those smoke bombs that you get at like fireworks stands that are just basically chalk with a fuse in it.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah, that you eat.
Yeah, that you eat.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on to topic number 2.
All right, what's the next topic?
One thing close to Cullen's heart. Have video games ruined tabletop RPGs?
Yeah. I love this topic. Oh my god.
In defense of the topic, I did come up with it. In defense of me, I did not come up with that title. So I guess the question is, and this is, I'm not actually interested in wondering if video games have destroyed TTRPGs, but 5th edition, how old is 5th edition now? How many years have we all been playing 5th edition?
I thought it was like 2013?
Was it that long ago? It's been a while.
2014 or 2014.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so 8 years? 8 years? People that play a lot and have played in a lot of campaigns, I'm wondering, this is my question. Are a lot of them just out there looking to kind of like get 100% completion of the fucking game? You know, like, oh, I've never played at this, I've never played at that, I've never played at that. And then they start just trying to check boxes off and be like, well, I've never thrown a fireball. Now I've thrown a fireball. Instead of going into it as like always bringing a fresh character, it's almost like, yeah, okay, well, we'll do the thing as long as I can check off these boxes or something. And I know that's too much, right? That's probably too cynical, but I do wonder if that is like part of the game, or maybe part of any game as it ages, right? As any edition ages. Reed, I saw you had your hand on your head as a Barbara DM.
A possible rebuttal, if you have it. I think it depends on the game.
Go on.
Red Dead Redemption 2 has made me a better D&D player.
Go on.
Expound upon this.
Yeah, tell us how. Why?
Because when you play a story with a character for so long, and you have so many things in a game like that affects your character, like you have to feed your character, you have to bathe, you have to take care of your horse, or your horse is going to fall off a cliff and die. Like all that.
It's like you're describing a Tamagotchi.
Yes, in a way. But like all those things that are within your realm of control that you can choose whether or not to act on, like you have the honor score. If you want to walk into a bar and kill everyone, understandably, that's going to affect you. Games like that think about all those things and the consequences of real life, I do feel like make you a better D&D player. And then if it's other video games that try to I don't know, poses that or like mock that style but aren't true to it don't help you, if that makes sense, because then there's no consequences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd say my biggest concern, especially with new players who are gamers, one is the pace of D&D is horrendously slow in comparison, right? If any of you have ever played Diablo, right? Can you imagine rolling a d20 for every single time you attack in a game like that? I mean, you kill like billions upon billions of enemies. I'm literally billions of guys. Like, to roll all those out, one is very slow. So the game is much more micro-oriented. It's much more akin to like a tactical RPG. But even in those tactical RPGs, the pace is fast. These battles go fast, right? And it's battle after battle after battle, which D&D has a lot more role-playing and in between and exploration and things like that. So I think just pacing, I get a lot of people who've played video games primarily coming to tabletop RPGs. They feel like the pace is a little off. And so I think that's something that like I like to talk to them about, and then try and show them like how fun it can be to just, be in a bar with a couple other friends doing stupid things, right? Like trying to load a deck or trying to make your own loaded dice and just having them all break or something, or have to get caught and running away as a group.
Yeah, it's a culture change. It's a culture change.
And secondly, in most video games, you are this mega powerful near deity god who destroys the world or saves the world, and you start off as like a maybe a level 10 character,
right,
and you evolve into like a level 50 character by the end of the game, right? Like Final Fantasy VII is the perfect example. You get like you hit for like 5,000 or 6,000 damage, and then by the end of the game you have a move that does 999,000 damage 13 times in a row, and you're like, that power spike. So anyways, in D&D, I generally think your power level, if you were to get scouted by Vegeta and Raditz, your power level would be under 9,000, not over 9,000.
That's fair.
To start off with. And I think fair. That, again, as a change thing.
Versus Vegeta, the first time we see him, he gets shot and just like catches the bullet, I think, right? Or like the farmer, that like chubby farmer shoots him and he's like, what the hell? Yeah.
I love this. Jaderweedo? J Terweedo. I can't ever remember right name. I like this name. I think it could go a lot of different ways. D&D combat equals
it's hard
making
to read.
The movie versus watching the movie. Ooh, I like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
A fantastic way to put it. I love that. Because it really is kind of like,
God, yeah.
All right, I'm going to climb up this thing. Like, what would be a cool scene, right? Let's set the scene. All right, there's fire over here. There's stuff over here. Where do I need to go? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, and like in video games, hold your hand, right? Like even Red Dead Redemption, where you have these open world games where it's like you can go anywhere or do anything. It's kind of like they're still holding your hand for the most part. And some railroady games can be like that, where your hand is being held, and they're like, now go here. Now go here, do this. Now go here, do this.
Yeah.
But those missions become, like people are used to just having missions handed to them. Go do this. I'm going to give you a goal to accomplish. And in D&D, sometimes, I think it can be a lot more open-ended, where people will start and they'll be like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, you can do anything. And it's like, oh, well, then I definitely don't know what to do. Right.
Yeah.
Like that decision paralysis. I don't know. I've been talking a lot. What do you think about this?
Who are you asking?
No, go ahead.
Either of you.
I'd be happy to chime in. I mean, something that you said that I thought was really interesting, James, is talking about this whole thing of the game. Like games definitely kind of hold your hand as far as they kind of present things to you, and they just kind of push it forward. And the thing that gets you to complete the game is that internal feeling of like, I need to finish everything, or else I didn't really play the game. Whereas with us, it's more like, let's just see let's just see where it goes. Let's follow the, you know, the natural way the things go. We know the overall goals, but it's like, let's just move in the way that's natural. It's not. And this goes into what you and I were talking about yesterday, James. It's not like we can't force things to happen. Like, we can't try to make scenes happen. We can't pursue them. Unless, obviously, like you said, that they further the story. But it's your job to kind of give us the cues, or kind of move the natural way the story is supposed to go, rather than like, you're just like, there's a mission here and here and here and here and here and here and here. Choose, go. And it's like, oh, okay, wow.
Find the exclamation point. Go to the X. Come back. Find the question mark. Turn in the quest. Get the next exclamation point. I mean, that's the loop in video games, right? Like, at least that I play.
That's another thing too.
It's not bad. I mean, that's one of the reasons I enjoy games. I play games a lot. I love the games because I just turn off my brain, just slip into a game, and I'm just like a murder hobo for like 3 hours, and I just kill everything. Feels great. I'm super powerful. But I don't know. I think like that, plus like we're in an age, I think, where everything's quick, everything's fast, everything's intense too, right? Like, video games now are like so intense. The lights are bright, the music is blaring. I don't know, the last time I turned on a new game and didn't have to go to the volume and turn it down to like 20%. They'd be like, this is a reasonable volume level.
Speaking of that, we could use a little more volume out of your mic. How's that for a segue?
Really?
Yeah.
Even more?
Yeah. Bobby's upset you ignored him.
What?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit better. There we go.
Is that better?
James,
I think so.
Something that I thought was huge is like, everything's quick, and then there's like the grinding play style, which we're all victims of. Like, for me, it's Destiny. For you, it's Lost Ark, right?
And Ragnarok.
And Ragnarok, all of those. There, it's like,
and World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy
do all these things to get all the great stuff. Like, I don't
just
try
reading the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, it's not like
Bobby. Oh my God, he sounds so good now. If he had just freaking listened to me. My bad.
Nice. I mean, you don't play D&D to get all of the magical items. Like, what? Like, why? That's not a way to play.
I think like in these that's another thing. Like, video games.
Well, I mean, it's the way you can play.
It's not necessarily the best way, I don't think.
It's the reward structures, right? Video games reward you in a certain way, like, here's a piece of gear or loot, right? Or here's a level up, or here's a new shiny thing. And you get that in D&D. You know, you get new weapons and gear and loot, and that's all fun. But I think part of the reward also in Dungeons & Dragons, and one of the biggest rewards, in my opinion, is those shared narratives, those stories, those things, those moments you have where we're like, Steve couldn't help himself, went to the tables, got some loaded dice, and made 1,000 credits.
Yeah, an absolute fortune.
Just a fortune at these tables, and everyone was like, how is he doing this? And we're like, I don't know, but he's got that itch, and you can see it in his eyes.
He's got
that touch. Rattle of dice in a cup just hits his ears the right way. But you know what I mean? Like that's I think if you can get your mind around that being the reward structure, you know, is these moments.
And also it bears repeating, because this is something we do try and hammer home. It all depends on the culture of the table too, right? Like, if everyone at the table just wants to be like, look, we're just going in to just like beat up bad guys, roll some dice, and try and collect as much loot as possible, that's totally legit too.
And so who can get the drunkest and stay alive?
Yeah. But like, there are different ways, but it's like, that's a thing that you all have to sort of, you know, and we'll say it again a million times, the session zero, like, that's a discussion to have. Like, what's the culture of the table? Like, what is it you're after? And sort of, what is the DM's sort of wheelhouse, right? Because, like, I know for me, like, I would be a terrible DM on like you guys are gonna fight all the best things and you guys are gonna have all the best loot, because I'd be like, oh, you fought 50 Gorblins and you get a gold for each Gorblin. Yeah, you did it. And then everyone is just like, yeah, oh, I like it. I don't like it, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, as you always say, that's the style of game we call Battle Dice Simulator.
Yeah. Which is a way to play and is totally legitimate.
I love it. I really like that. Like a friend of mine ran a campaign and he was like, all right, this is going to be like a two session campaign. Everybody, you have unlimited money and you're all level 20. I was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
And I made, you know, as my little min-max brain does, I just made this ridiculous paladin, right? Let's be honest.
Fucking paladins, man.
That's all he ever
Oh
done.
God. It's his favorite. It's just his favorite.
I've only played, to my credit, I played a paladin one time, ruined your campaign. I haven't played one since.
And then Karma came back around by giving you me. Like that's
yeah.
That's a talk.
It's a circle of life.
For another time. We're going to do a little deep dive, I think, on each class and talk about the pros and cons, I think.
Oh, that could be fun.
That I see. Yeah. Because I want to talk about paladins in ways that I think that they're overpowered for the culture. Just because you're right, they're balanced around 6 encounters a day, which I can see them becoming weaker and weaker as they lose their spell slots. But
sure,
no one ever does 5 counters in a day or 6 or whatever. All right.
No.
All right.
That'd be crazy.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Moving on to a new segment we're going to try out.
Next segment.
Called I found it on the internet. It came from the internet. Oh,
You fucking
We're going to go to Cullen. He's going to talk about something he found on the internet, and I'm going to try and find it on Google as we continue this. So without further ado, I need some better music, though.
Well, I think what you need to do is record yourself just going like, it came from the internet, with like a lot of echoes.
All right, we'll do that. It came from the internet.
Yeah. I'm there, I'm with you.
Why is there no stuff?
Why is there no one?
I don't know.
Oh wow, look at this. We've got the whole background. It's spooky. Oh, this is fun. It's just fun.
It's supposed to be like a
Bobby goes,
title
just use that clip. Well, we don't have a title card. So, you all know, well, you guys know, but the internet might not. I'm just constantly just like buying shit on the internet that I probably don't need, but every once in a while you get something and you're just like, I can't live without this. And that's what I think this segment's going to be. So I'm bringing to you boys, and I want to know if you've any experience with this. Another thing to know about me is I'm cheap as all get out. So we've all heard of the squatty potty, but have you heard of the step and go? Which is the squatty potty's knockoff, brother. It's awesome. Buy one right now. It's like $15. Just get one. Just fucking get one.
The Step and Go LLC toilet stool.
There she is. There she is. Those stickers come off real easy. It's a classy look to it. Real classy look. Strong too. You can jump up and down on that baby. I don't think it helps, but you can.
Can you not reach the floor on your toilet?
Yes, James, that's what this is for. It's to help so I can pee standing up. That's what it's for.
Can you not get over the lid of your toilet?
Oh God!
Proper toilet posture. Now we gotta go to the.
It's a way of life. It's a way of life.
I think I can input on this particular.
What did you say?
Open up the floodgates, but satisfied enough. 5 stars.
You gotta get one, guys. Look, it's $15. Change your life. It'll change your life.
Just do it. Make your number 2 your number 1 priority.
Oh my
These are great. Who hired these people? And one more.
Oh God.
If you're not doing this, you're doing it all wrong.
That's fair.
All right.
So that has been it came from the internet. And God, it's worth it. Just get one. Just get one, friends.
Yikes.
The worst part is I could do like 15 segments on toilet things alone.
That's concerning.
He is the one who got me into my bidet. So
that'll be another day. That'll be another day.
Do that some other time. We're gonna go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by our good friend Jason Montgomery, who plays Kelwise in our campaign on Monday nights. We're gonna chat with him, get to know him a little bit. Captain,
goddamn right,
Kelwise. Yeah,
that's right. The cup keeps us in check. That's why we always need someone in the cup.
Captain Kelwise Wandergaze. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Don't go away. Hello, everyone. We're back. I hope you can hear everyone and everything. We're live with Jason Montgomery, our very own Captain Kelwise Wandergaze from our Monday Aventide campaign at 7 p.m. Pacific.
That's
at twitch.tv/
beautiful.
Well, it's here, where you're watching us now. Twitch.tv/MinusOneCHA.
People are clicking off to be like, oh, I'll go find that.
Where are they at? Where is it? We're missing it.
Good to have you on the
Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you spending your Friday night hanging out. It's always funny because you have somebody that you know really well. I'm like, what is there, like, I want to get to know you. I want people to get to know you, but I'm like, where to start? Like, I know that you professional, like, audio treatment specialist, which is not something you can do in most, I feel like most places.
With this lighting, that just sounds so much more nefarious. Like basically we could describe you at like the way that you're being lit right now. It could be like, it's just like if the cat hops up on your lap, it's like the fucking FBI is coming in through the door.
How do you know the cat's not already on my lap?
It could be. Sorry.
That didn't even occur to me. Oh my God.
Waiting for it. Just be like,
that's true. I have some sort of like vampire layer thing happening behind me with like the closed it. It's just a tight shot. The light being below me now instead of above me.
Yeah, I love it.
The whole thing.
But
it's a mood.
So you're an evil villain, a super evil villain.
Correct. Yes.
Reed would know something about that. You are a professional drummer.
Yeah.
You're a professional drummer, sound treatment audio specialist. You were in a band for 10 years. It was kind of incredible. Like that was a huge part of your life. Now you're in a D&D group with us. And you live with an assassin.
Yes.
You live with 3 assassins technically.
A hair assassin.
Yeah. Fair.
A hair assassin. For those of you who don't know, Melissa, also from our game, lives in the same house, under the floorboards as Jason.
Yeah.
That's getting weird. It always makes it weird.
Just like lurking around.
You said a bunch of things that were true and one thing that's a lie. Everyone at home, you have to figure out which one of them is the lie.
Exactly.
He actually plays the saxophone, not the drums.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be so cool. I love the saxophone.
Yeah, what's wrong with the saxophone?
I played the saxophone for 8 years. I like
Didn't Clinton play the saxophone?
Oh yeah,
that was the lie. He did on SNL. That's why people liked him. He was relatable. And you're like, wait a minute.
What about a saxophone makes someone relatable?
People went crazy over that stuff.
Plays one?
I don't know.
I guess it was a time. It was a time. It was a time.
I wasn't alive.
Let's go back to the beginning.
That doesn't make me feel good.
Let's talk about your band for a little bit. I kind of want to know, you got in the band. There's a band called Back Pocket Memory.
Yes.
Is it on Apple Music? Where can we?
Probably. I don't know. We haven't put anything out in a long time now, and like back when we were putting things on the internet, it was like, Spotify and Pandora were like the only 2 options. No, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, yes, we were doing things that long ago.
Page.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Definitely out of MySpace.
It's still up.
Eek. Probably. It's hard to say. Probably not.
That's a yes.
I don't feel like I ever got rid of it.
Let me search Back Pocket Memory.
Burbank,
It wouldn't be
California?
Back Pocket Memory was too late for MySpace.
Rob, yeah, that was a bass player.
Robbie Wrist?
Robbie Wrist, yeah. Speaking
like
of
a
Ninja
totally
Turtles,
There's a Facebook.
There's a totally defunct MySpace page that does not work at all.
Oh,
and
wow.
has a little bit of text on it.
wild.
Yeah, your guitar player
That's
Eddie
wild.
is just creepy as hell.
This is like let's
it's
judge the
all
band.
Eddie, your guitar player. It's just all him.
He's like,
being
oh, so you just
creepy.
came brought me on to kick me in the nuts? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, let's talk about things that were on MySpace. Like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. That's appropriate.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
The being in a band was really great. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember that we were on MySpace. Honestly, that is too long ago. I remember the band before that band being on MySpace because that was like the more appropriate time frame. But
you
with
guys
some of
are-
the same people.
You're Googleable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Back Pocket Memory. Google us. Yeah, you'll find videos on the internet, and we're definitely still on Spotify.
Are you on
Here.
Instagram?
Here.
Presumably.
I'm gonna do a thing.
Yeah, there you are. Look at you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a thing for the viewers.
I love that you don't know. I don't like.
I mean,
Oh, he's so chill.
okay. Yeah.
The drummer, not the
That's a fair
the
point.
guitar.
That's
It was a long time ago. It was a
There you
it
go.
feels like a
For all of
really
you at
long time
home,
ago now.
Here's an old picture of them back in the day.
Look at
Oh
us.
yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that.
Good.
I'm just gonna zoom in on you, Jason, a little bit here.
That's me.
Yeah, there we go.
Wunderbar.
Bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
gonna
Had
get
more
bigger.
muscles. Was less fat. It was good. Those were good times.
Those were good days.
Definitely
How
younger.
close can we get?
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, uncomfortably close.
So
You're zoomed.
happy. Look at
Wow.
you. You just had your whole life
Yeah.
ahead of you. That's the look of somebody who just, man. All right. But man, I remember those days.
You do, because you played with us. We played with you.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
I found one of your
that
albums.
time of my life. What?
I could like go. What I have like literally one of your CDs like within 10 feet of me right now that I found the other day.
The
We will
problem
spend
is you
the
don't
rest
have a
of this
CD player.
Office hours
No.
listening to every single song.
Yeah. I do. The only place I have a CD player is my car. So,
Yeah, it's fair.
but it's still in the package. I have a
Ooh,
package.
new
4-star
inbox.
New inbox. Yeah.
Because you listen to that a lot, I can tell.
I think I have like multiple copies, to be honest.
Nice save.
Yeah.
Oh man, Wunderbar.
He's only got the one, people. He's only got the one.
But it was it wasn't your first album, it was your second album. What was the second one? Dress to Impress. Was that the second one?
If I can't have you, no one can.
Yeah, no.
Emo.
Well, maybe it was the one after that.
Oh
then.
man, that's some heavy emo.
A Tragedy Like Me. was
That's the
second.
one. It's that one.
yeah.
Ooh, it's good. There's some good Photoshop on there.
Oh heavens.
What do you mean? There's no Photoshop.
Yeah.
I think we are the only we're the only ones left now. After that,
just devastation coming from the cup.
raise your hand if you wrote an emo album or participated in emo music.
Lots of.
Why, you
James,
say it
raise
like
your hand
past
twice.
tense.
Raise your hand,
I've
James.
written, I'm still writing emo music.
Both of you
That's fair.
two have contributed to the worst years of my life. That was middle school. You are part of the musical problem.
Well,
It fuels
middle
my
school is
angst.
the worst part of like most.
No.
people's lives,
You need that
emo or
music
not.
though. You need that.
You
You gotta
do.
get the feels
Yeah.
out. 'Cause as a kid, you don't know how to get the feels out. As an
Yeah.
adult, you just drink heavily and cry. But as a kid, you don't know how to do that. So you got to just blast the music, and the more emo, the better.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah, no. They saved you, Reed. You just don't even know it.
Well,
You
Ocean
don't
Avenue.
know
saved
how
me.
far that floor,
There you go.
that rock bottom. You just don't even know how far
Oof.
it goes down.
We had a guy one time who was just so drunk at a show that we were playing, and he came up and he was like, "Hey, anyone ever tell you guys sound like Yellow Card?" And we were like, "No, we haven't ever been told that."
That's a wonderfully backhanded compliment.
We didn't sound like Yellow Card at all, which was, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a weird thing. Like Yellow Card had a violin player in their band. That's that was their thing.
Okay, but what are the chances that this guy like because if you listen to say you listen to I don't know, gangster rap, right? Like I never listened to that, and so if you played me a bunch of it, I'd be like, I can't really differentiate. Like, I can tell that there's different songs, but like I could not tell you one artist from another. So someone coming into like pop punk, they'd be like, yeah, it's like the same like 3 drum beats that they all play, and then every bass player is playing eighth notes only on like the root note, and it's all power chords, right? It's the same thing. Like, what's the difference between Blink-182 and Green Day? Like musically, almost nothing. But
I would argue differently.
But only one song
when you
able to kill Cullen in one fell swoop. Only one.
It's just the way. It wasn't even that song. It was you. It was you singing that song. No, it's a terrible song. It's a terrible song. I stand by that. All right, new topic. You guys can reminisce about Emotopia.
And we need to. I think we need to.
And you do, but you need to do it together at the back of the bar, where eyeliner.
Cullen can't hear you.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be there too. Come on.
I mean, I'll be there.
I know you'll be there.
I had this benefit eyeliner that I used to wear all the time, and it was my favorite. And I kept like the nub of the eyeliner that was left. I kept it for so long. It's like a memory, like a keepsake.
Oh, that's so emo.
Oh, yeah.
That's just way too fucking emo, bro.
He lived, really lived it.
I looked at it and it got really short to the point where it was like, it looks like a teardrop. It's so small. It's got the little on the top. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Have we been canceled yet? Can we be?
So you played the drums.
I'm young, I can cancel
you play more. You started playing in a jazz combo, right? After
I started playing in like 1996. And it played in everything that needed a drummer, basically.
Read, age check, 1996.
Not alive.
Okay, continue.
Super cool. Yeah, and basically, like, I was one of the only people around that like had taken lessons, especially in the beginning, because my Cub Scout teacher was a drummer, a professional drummer as well. So I learned from him.
You have a Cub Scout teacher.
Cub Scout master,
like a leader?
Yeah. Master.
Obey your Cub Scout master.
Oh, I want to hear that song. I like
that song.
Oh my god.
Master of Cub Scouts.
Master of Cub Scouts.
I'm
Oh,
going to write this down right now. Where's the pen? No, I'm writing it down on my arm in Sharpie.
there we go. Oh, very emo of you.
Master of Cub
Okay, I'm
Scouts.
sorry. You were saying in your Master, Cub Scout Master.
Yeah.
Cub Scouts is pulling you straight.
So
anyways,
he taught me how to play the drums. And basically, like, because like I was the only drummer around, because they, okay, here's the thing about drummers, right? Drummers aren't musicians. We can all agree about that, I'm sure. Yeah. If you've ever known a drummer, they're just like spastic ADHD people, and it's really hard for them to focus generally. And usually they don't know how to read music is a big kicker.
You just described my brother all in one sentence.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Does he play drums?
He does.
Okay, there you go.
So the whole, like, can you read music literally is I would say what separates your standard drummer from your, like, okay, you're like an actual musician now.
Sure.
And usually,
we all know Whiplash.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
Oh, you haven't?
It might
It's a
make
lot of
you
fun.
drums.
Have you seen Drumline?
Yeah, I've seen Drumline. I avoided it when it came out for like a long, long time, and then I finally watched it. Drumline was not a good movie. Sorry.
My favorite is I watched it with our battery line, And the guys were just like, they just walk up to like a random, they have like a drum off in one of the scenes and they just start pulling stuff out of nowhere. And they're like, when did you learn this? You just can't make up something on the fly and be like perfectly in sync with each other. That's not how that works.
They're all improving together.
Yeah. Oh, it's a drum line. They're just like pulling stuff out and they're just like, what? That's great. No.
That's great. You're going to have to get really messed up and watch this movie now, I guess. Beautiful.
The movies that we need to watch, that, and then Velocipaster is a huge one.
I already saw it. I'm not going to watch that again.
Yes,
was it bad or was it good? Because I saw it and I was like, that's
it's like
funny.
A purposefully B movie. Like there's a part... there's some good jokes in there. I don't want to ruin them for you, but there's a part, just to give you an idea, there's a car explosion and they take out the car and they put the words car explosion across the street because they can't afford it, right? Like, they're like,
that's
shit, we're gonna blow up a car.
But there's one more, and I talked about this last night. The amazing masterpiece, should have swept at the Oscars, 1996 Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, I pull that one out every now and again.
I do need to watch that one again. I really do actually need to watch it again.
It's on HBO Max. Watch it after this.
Watch party.
Yeah. If that's what we end up doing this weekend, that is fine by me. I will bring all the dried mushrooms from World Market that James wants to bring because...
I thought that was going in different, different direction for a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool, I'm young, I got mushrooms, man.
You making like pasta? Like what are you?
James, tell the story.
Baby Bellas.
What was it?
I don't know what you're talking about, Reed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
There's no one that'll fucking hang you out to drive faster than James. That was a tactical error, friend.
You tell the story then, Colin.
What are you talking about?
Your
doesn't
campaign, when James brought the snack, and they were these god-awful like mushroom chips.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Colin doesn't remember because every week I would bring
He
something.
did that every week. He would bring shitty food to the table every week. Every week there was not a lick of English on the packaging, and it would just be like delicacies from the far reaches of the earth. And I'm sure in those places they were wonderful, but in my apartment it was like a fucking toxic. Just every time he cracked open a bag, my eyes would water. And he's like, yeah, have one. They're really good. And he got really good at like eating it, and it would burn his mouth, and he would just be like, it's actually really good. And he could fake it. And then you'd go and you'd be like, well, I guess he says it's really good. And then you'd try it. And then you just spend 45 minutes hacking just like a cat. Just,
one of the benefits of living in a giant city like Los Angeles is there is a ton of foreign markets.
Yeah.
Like there's a John's that has just stuff from straight out from Russia, and you're just like, what is this stuff? I don't know.
And I don't even know if they have it in Russia anymore. It's like Soviet bloc stuff that they've just found in a warehouse. It's just like a spam can of ammo.
There's like a Koreatown and a Japantown. There's a little Greece. There's like a very Vietnamese.
Did you guys hear that Turkey doesn't want to be called Turkey anymore? They want to be Turkey A. I think it's Turkey A. They're tired of being like called an ugly bird.
Well, that's too bad. You picked the name, you suffer the consequences.
Well, that's the thing though. They say like Turkey A or whatever. Like that's how they say it. And they're like, guys, stop calling us not our name.
That's a lot of places, turns out, right? I mean, Germany, they don't call themselves Germany. Yeah. And so there's like a westernized nomenclature for all sorts of places. China isn't China. Japan isn't Japan. I don't remember. I can never remember. What's Japan?
China.
You would know.
Japan is Nihon or Nippon.
Yeah.
Depending on if you're
I always thought that was a place in Japan. Who knew? But not me.
I feel like the grandpa in the movie Holes right now, where it's like, we want to be called something different, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. That is America.
I feel like that's a little. That is. That could be. I mean, I don't know the history of Turkey, and so like, I need to like put this out there that I don't know, but like, if you don't speak, like, shouldn't it be English countries are like, well, we don't think this should be named this, right? Like, if you were like, hey, you know what? I hate that Japan in Japanese calls Canada XYZ. Actually, in Japan, they just call everything almost exactly what they call themselves. Very respectful. It's weird.
Yeah, no, that seems like what we should all do, right?
Yeah, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure the food at the World Market from Turkey is also horrific at my D&D table, and James would be delighted to bring it. Long story short, that's where I was going.
And it would be Amazon just had so many interesting, like, I would type in, like, foreign candy, and it would just be a plethora of stuff.
Why?
Some of it.
Why would you?
Good.
Why?
Some of it
so bad. The amount of money he wasted is untenable.
You know, but here's the thing. Every once in a while, there's a little gem you find. And you're
like one time.
This is.
And then you refuse to get it again.
It wasn't good. It was just not bad.
Tolerable.
Ah.
Yeah.
How do you fuck up
comparatively?
Sugar? How do you fuck up sugar?
I know, there were some that were just like straight up sugar. It was like a rotten peep or something, and you're like, what? How? Man. I miss it. I really do. That was maybe one of my favorite things.
Yeah, sorry.
No, topics aren't important.
Topics aren't important.
That is one of the things that's wonderful about playing in person, though, like at the same table. Like, stupid shit like that can happen. Like, I asked him to stop doing it, and he refused. He would just keep bringing over terrible stuff that he would then leave at my apartment.
No, so then you didn't ask me to stop bringing it. You just asked me to stop leaving it at your house. That's a distinction I think we all need to recognize.
Subtle difference.
Did you do either? Right?
I mean, I forgot.
No, you didn't. Anyway, that stuff's probably still in the cupboard. I moved out and Jason, I just left it there.
So I brought cupcakes on Monday.
That's a delight.
Did you hate my cupcakes? And I'm just never going to know about it? Like,
I didn't actually get to have a cupcake.
You didn't even have a cupcake?
I was so
busy.
I was so busy trying to set up stream. And when I'm trying to set up stream, like I was like, everyone was like, oh, we're going to all do a shot together. And I was like, I got to get these cameras. I got to get this audio equipment. Got to test the levels. Got to make sure all the graphics work. Got to make sure these flags work. And then I just never, I don't stop. That's my brain previous to any of these shows. Like literally like an hour and a half ago, I was like, DM office hours, graphics, UI design.
That's how we all see you. I'm confused.
Yeah.
I see. So you don't need to answer the question because you didn't have one. I didn't have
get
one.
to
Were they good?
One.
I liked them. Reed put his glasses on like he hated them.
I didn't.
And I'm a little. Oh, you didn't have one.
I showed up an hour and a half late.
No one had any cupcakes. So weird.
She probably did. Day likes her cupcakes, I think.
Day is not here to defend herself. Do not throw her under the bus, James.
All I said was she likes to eat her cupcakes.
Yeah, but it was the way you said it. As someone who's very good at pissing off Day, let me give you a little tip.
Okay.
Don't accuse her of eating all the cupcakes.
Fine.
I love it.
Day had a cupcake or two.
Undeniable. Uncontestable.
That's just a fact.
Okay, hey, I got a question for you, Jason, that's actually D&D related and campaign related. Are you excited? Now, granted, I didn't really see the last session, like the last half of it. Are you excited to be out like on the open seas? Was that something that was like exciting, you know, as sort of like now you're kind of the leader?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I enjoy. Okay, so realistically, the second half of last session is probably a bad way to judge it because like we were getting attacked the whole time, so it like wasn't super fun. But
hear that?
Yeah,
just let us have some peace.
You didn't participate in all. Dresden.
I have a story for you guys that I will tell you after.
Actually, I really liked the entire thing that happened. Like, don't get me wrong. It was a fun and exciting battle, and the stakes were high. So that was cool. But the enjoyable part, just the like being out, I guess, just traveling sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that.
So, I mean, I think a D&D group is always best served when the group kind of trades off roles of being like, of who's the leader in different situations. You know, if you've got a well-rounded group, you know, you go somewhere, someone's probably going to be like, oh, guys, I think I got this one, right? Do you like stepping up to the plate? Is that fun for you? Because I know people who are like, just let me sit at the table and barely talk, and I'll be having the time of my life. Personally, as a drummer, a man who sits in the back does relatively nothing, right? Shade.
It has the most important role of the
See you guys later.
No. Shade aside, do you like stepping up and sort of everyone kind of being like, well, what do we do, Captain? Like, is that fun? Are you enjoying that?
I'm, in general, I would say a consensus builder. So it's not one person ever being in charge. It's like, what does the group want to do? I'm very democratic in that way. I used to do Model United Nations conferences, like when I was in college. And that was all about like, how do you get 20 people who are representing all countries all over the earth, you know, to agree on like a common set of goals? And that was always sort of difficult, but my job generally was the facilitator for all of that. Listen to everyone, sort of piece it all together that way. I would say as far as being a captain of a ship, it's the same sort of deal. You have to make sure everyone's on board, literally and figuratively.
Everyone's had all their diseases.
Yeah. You got your shots. Yeah. And you go forward from there, I would say. Beyond that, your role, I would say, is just navigating the ship and making sure you don't crash into things. And that's fine because my survival is high, so it works out.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Gethron says it's a different D&D. It's a diplomat and drummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I play D&D.
It was the life before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I find that works as a leadership style, just in life, just to talk about, you know, real life experiences. It tends to benefit you to. Yeah, I mean, just like listening to other people and what they want. Like, don't overrule everyone. Don't say it's my way or the highway. It's
overrule.
Hard. Yeah. Consensus.
Interesting.
All right. He's a soft power man. He's a soft power man, but you get him below decks? No way.
Yeah.
It's a hard power man.
This is just my perspective. I think it works really well because then everyone feels comfortable to like do their own thing, but then also come to you if they have a question or if they need to, you know, work something out, especially in game where it's like
a master of scouts.
Yeah.
Master of Sensei.
Master of Cubs.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. Whereas like, I don't like it sucks to have a leader in a party that like you're scared of, because then you can never like approach them. I would feel.
You're going to do great in Silicon Valley. And the film industry, actually.
And the film industry.
I know.
Yeah, and equally hard to have a leader who like doesn't really listen to or consider the thoughts of everyone else or feelings of everyone else. I mean, it makes it really difficult to then want to like follow that person for an extended period of time. It's okay if you defer that to someone for a little bit, like, okay, maybe you know what we need to do. Maybe you have the idea of how we get through this dungeon. Maybe you have the idea of like how we fight this monster. That's fine. But then come to a consensus, because you all want to be on the same page. It's, you know, that's if the consensus is like, we're going to sneak around and then we're going to all run at it willy nilly, all of a sudden, just like, you're like, wait, okay. The half of that plan was good.
Oh, God, half of that plan
needs some work.
Well, that's one of the things like out of table I've considered, just talking to the players and being like, you know, cause there's nothing worse to me than it's time to plan for something. And, you know, in real life, if you had a life or death situation, you would make sure that you planned it down to the T, and everything was.
That's why like fucking militaries exist, right? And
exactly, right?
You're not even allowed to say things unless someone's like, "You talk," right? Like when really life or death is on the line.
But in D&D, and I'm sure everyone who's ever played has gotten here where it's like hour 2 of planning.
Yeah.
And the first step you take is going to change everything, right? Because you get new information.
The whole plan's going out the window.
Changes. Just talking to people about being like, hey, who's kind of like, who wants to take lead of this episode? Or who wants to be like, hey, we're on a boat. So everyone refer to Kelwise, right? Like, just to get the plan in motion. Like, now that we're on the seas, it's Kelwise's domain. Everyone can have opinions and stuff, but, you know, it's on you, Kelwise, now to, like, move the story forward so we get some forward movement, you know, or we're in the middle of a combat, right? Or we're going to sneak up on somebody. So, Cornelia, like, what do you want to do? Or, you know, I've thought about talking to people and just being like, hey, like, I kind of haven't brought this up to you guys, but what do you guys feel about something like that? Like,
yeah, now that you're in a public forum, how do you?
Well, you're probably not going to like my answer, because my answer is I enjoy and relish the like really detailed planning scenarios.
Oh, really? Do you?
I mean, like, to me, okay, there's a lot of movies, like, for instance, like an Ocean's 11 or like The Italian Job or something like that. They're very detailed plans. They've established these very long-winded, detailed plans with lots of caveats and like what ifs. I like that. I enjoy that. Okay.
But I think that the
difference
I'm not everyone.
is,
though, in Ocean's 11, their thing is like, we're smarter than you and we know it, and we're going to talk fast enough so that you can't keep up, and so we try and stay ahead of the audience.
We only have to beat you, James.
I know, and it's great, but my power is, the difference is I can change things on the fly. I can literally warp the universe, so it's not a fair playing field, right? I make up for my small p brain with just being like, rocks fall, everyone's gonna go. I could just, you know, pull that out anytime I want. Rain, shine, outside, inside, rocks can fall from anywhere at Aventide. So like, I think it's a lot of just like, and you know, I've changed to little things on the fly sometimes, you know, as a DM. When you're playing an encounter to make it maybe more fun, or you think of something in the moment where you're like, oh, this would be great. It's not the way I set it up beforehand. It's a little bit unfair to the party, because, you know, but it was gonna be so much fun. I feel like that's so much of like how just DMing works, that it's like, you can make the most detailed plan, and, you know, one bad roll can make it, you know, just, it's all out the window now. The entire 2 hours of planning. Or you could be like, here's the dumbest plan ever. I rolled 2 nat 20s. It's going to happen. Well,
I think that's what you need to you find the balance, right? Especially if someone enjoys planning, right? And if the table enjoys planning, like, then that's great. Like, that's a perfectly, like, you could spend the whole session planning, and if everyone's having a good time, it's like, perfect. That's fucking fantastic. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
There's no going problem to go to shit as soon as you start, but, you know.
There's no problem with... Sorry, I keep jumping on.
No, please.
No, with introducing some random activity, right? Like, roll for those things. I actually think that's good, because it derailing certain plans or aspects of them, maybe not the entire maybe not all of your plans, but like portions of them are always fun. Makes the story better.
Well, it's always going to get derailed at least a little, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think there's a balance to be had between, like, planning out absolutely everything and being like, okay, I'm going here to try and achieve this. You go here to try and achieve that. And, you know, we'll meet in the middle, versus being like, okay, 16 steps later, I'm going to jump up here, right? And this is going to happen. And you're like, you know, it's not going to happen that way, right? Because, like, you just know it's not. So I don't know. I feel like there's definitely a balance.
I think there's a distinction, because when someone's like, all right, is the plan that we're going in or are we going to sneak around? I think that's like, okay, someone needs to make a decision. We're either going in or we're going to sneak around the back, right? And that's what gets me is it's not like, if you guys decide, hey, we're going to go in, all right, everyone's on board, we're all going in, now let's plan, that's fun to me. But it's like, are we going to sneak around the back? No, I think we should go in the front. I don't think we should go in the front. I think we should sneak around the back.
No, we weren't even at the planning stage yet.
Yeah, and that's or you'll go like, you'll agree on a plan and you'll go 2 steps in and then someone else will be like, well, no, I really don't think we should do this. And it's like, well, your option.
We already started.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where a lot of the things come. It's like, now we're going to make 4 plans. We're going to weigh the pros and cons of 4 different plans to see which plan we think has the least amount of objections.
Wait, the cup is speaking.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Micro read.
Cup take.
Glasses are wrong.
Cup take.
All right. If I may, I think the answer lies in the balance.
I just said that. Overruled.
No.
All right. Micro read, you lose your voice.
Hear me out. I was going to say it's a balance between all 3 of you, not just between planning and not planning or whatever. It's like this, and I'm going to use an actual example from game that we did, and I'll walk you through it. Also,
do it, fucker.
I will. So, our big fight against the Empress, we maybe came up like I knew that we were going to need to plan this out because we were trying to save trust. We have to take care of Fitz. We have to fight the Empress.
Check.
We have all these different things. It was a grocery list of things to do in one session. I did not think we were going to be able to do it in one. Somehow we did. Regardless, we went into chat to kind of have an off-screen moment where we planned it all out. Because that way, we could just go into game, ready to go, and we could just do it.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up still having a conversation in game of like what the actual plan was from our 4 actual plans. But the moment we stepped into that palace, all 4 plans were out the window. Like every idea that we could have possibly come up with didn't even come close. So it's nice because I mean D&D is like I see it as a giant improv game, and that's just the actor in me. You just work with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
Right. So that can be really fun. But I agree, it's also fun to kind of like, we're all hunched over the table. We got a map set out and we're like, this is the castle. We got to break into it. There are guard posts here, and here. There's a little thicket under on this side of the wall. You go under that, you slip right in, then you're in the main hall. Boom, boom, boom. And you work it out. And then James can interject wherever he feels like it's necessary to give the story some stakes and some reality. But at the end of the day, and Colin, you and I were talking about this the other day, is like
don't drag me into this.
No, you made a really good point. I mean,
you guys talk a lot.
When you're playing any other D&D
about
game,
our feelings.
Yeah, we mostly talk about our feelings. When you're playing any other D&D game, every way to play is okay. But when you're selling something and when you're putting it on video for an audience to consume, it's like, okay, what's a way we can do this that's concise and entertaining, and that's
it's a sticky wicket when you're trying to stream.
Yeah,
because you're it's playing D&D slowly, like Jason, like what you're saying, like spending an entire session, like, all right, we've got a thing, no matter what happens, like every eventuality is planned for. Can be a lot of fun and can be like a totally cool way to spend an evening. It is not compelling television.
No, it's not. Completely agree with that. 100%.
Yeah. So it's like, it's weird, the things we come up against when we're trying to stream a game, where it's like, what is, and Reed, you're totally right, what is a normal thing for D&D is like all of a sudden like, you just can't do that. Like, no one is gonna like want that. No one wants that. Don't do that.
Well, and I think that's where you can get all that planning in, as long as somebody is taking the lead. Like somebody's like
a captain.
All right, guys,
Like
you're going around, we're going to jump in the side window, or we're all going to jump in a window at the same time. Who's like, any objections? Like, how is everyone going to do this?
Yeah.
Go down the line. That way you have at least the direction you're going, right?
Rather
like
than everyone having an idea and all wanting
the
to
broad
do.
strokes, that's what drives me crazy. And even if you don't agree with the plan, you're like, oh, this is going to be a terrible plan, but you're going with it, right?
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, no,
fail.
we're all dead. Oh, we're all dead. We're all dead. Oh, God, just sitting outside the window, shattering. But that can be fun, right? And I think that's one of the things
Definitely.
that maybe every D&D, and I think even at home, that could be something that makes your game move and can be more fun, especially if you that way you still
can
get
help
to do
with pacing.
You get to do some planning, and you just get to do more. Because I think there's nothing worse than going to a game, sitting around for 8 hours, and having you have a good time, but then leaving the table and being like, we didn't do anything. We literally did not do anything, and there's so much I want to do. I'm so excited to move forward.
It can feel frustrating. Even though you had a good time, it can still then for the rest of the week when you're waiting for the game, or 2 weeks or however long between sessions, you can be like, but we didn't fucking accomplish anything. We're no closer to our quote unquote end goal, which is okay, you can find that balance, but too many of those in a row, and all of a sudden it's why are we even doing this?
So you're spending sessions anticipating something that you already should have done 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah. Or maybe not should have, but could have. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And you could be on to the next thing and experiencing something new instead of just picking at this this scab that is this thing you have to do. I don't know. Yeah. Get out there. You got to do it. I wonder if there's a way
you
your life.
Get all the players on a spinner, and you spin the spinner. All right, you're.
Well, that wouldn't be D&D. That would be the game of life.
That's the game of life. The success of this mission is solely on your shoulders. Trust.
I mean,
or Cornelia, or
in all honesty, that could be fun as fuck. If every player had to come up with a plan, okay, it's the next obstacle. Steve, hit us. And it's I don't know anything about this.
I think the plan. He's so good at it.
I'm sure he would. He's full of confidence and hot air. It's so tiny, it doesn't really feel bad.
Yeah, it's so small in that little cup down there.
My power.
Well, what do you think about that, Jason? What do you think about round table party planning? I guess.
I think that's kind of a funny idea. I really like the idea of just saying, you pup or whomever is, you're in command this week. You're making all the important, tough decisions.
We might need to try this because that might be fun as all get out.
It's
I know the whole world is at stake and everything, but we got to get our shits and kicks into, right?
Yeah, it's like letting the kid decide what rides to go on at Disneyland, while the parents just kind of sit back and they're like, all right.
Sure.
This is your chance
letting
to take
the kids choose which armaments you take into war.
Well, there's that.
Yeah,
I wanted to go with a whole
just fun stuff.
I mean, you pick all these things when you set up your character, including what are you, chaotic neutral or whatever. This is your chance to really be this is who my character is. This is what my character would do. Mm-hmm. This is what I represent. We're going to do the crazy shit today.
Yeah.
Sorry, rational Dresden or rational Kelleyes, you don't get to come to the party. We're just going straight in. We're all going to die. It's been nice knowing you.
Oh, I kind of really want to do this now.
Yeah, there's something that would be very entertaining about it.
And it's not that no one has a voice. It's just that, hey, the buck stops here. You can voice your objections, but keep them brief. And if it's more informative objections than it is actual objections, be like, well, hey, just remember, last time this dude shot a fireball at us. So maybe all of us spreading out would be a good.
Maybe we shouldn't all be wearing sticks as armor. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Wooden armor, everybody. Not great.
And if you crash and burn, then it was just a theoretical. It was a what if. And you all go right back to the beginning and try again.
Yeah, no.
No, it doesn't work that way. It never works that way.
No.
It's always like, this changed the world in unexpected ways.
Yeah.
Ways which are going to kill you later.
Horrible ways.
Someone's ringing our doorbell.
Oh, well, I mean, as segues go.
You getting some pizza? Is it pizza?
I guess so. Pizza. No, it's not pizza.
All right. Well, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
This is fun.
This was fun. Yeah.
Wait,
no, thank you.
Melissa asked a question earlier, and I didn't catch it. It was in chat, and I wanted to anscer it because.
Oh, what did she ask?
What was the question?
I don't know. Anyone know? I don't know.
I didn't even know she. How did you know she asked a question?
Yeah,
because she texted me and she told me she asked a question.
How does Kelwise feel about knowing everyone's secret?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Answer now.
He likes it, and he's good at keeping secrets.
He
I
is.
have a secret
All right.
that you know.
All right.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Secret. I've got a secret.
All right. Well, with that, we are definitely going to sign off.
Hey guys, it's Bobby from the Cup. If you enjoy DM Office Hours, check out our D&D campaign. It's on every Monday at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/MinusOneCHA. Or just watch DM Office Hours every Friday at 6 p.m. Take care. I'll just hang out here.